Hey everyone, Blockchain Bernie here, broadcasting live from sunny San Diego. So, smart contracts and data storage, is that a marriage made in heaven? It will be, but as of today, it looks quite odd because most of those smart contract chains are not designed to store data. And why is that? That's what we're going to talk about today. So if you look at smart contract blockchains like Ethereum, like Avalanche, like Cardano, like Polygon, like Solana, most of them have thousands of validators. So that's why, that's why we have it as a blockchain. It means, there's thousands of validators witnessing what's going on and what transactions are being made, and then validating those. In the case of smart contracts, there is code running, and the code changes some state of that large state machine called the blockchain. And these validators, they have to, replay basically the code that's in the individual smart contract and replay it and verify and validate that the state change that has been made by this specific piece of code is actually what the other validators told it to be, right? So we have thousands of validators. Some of them have fewer, right? I think, there are some that only have a few hundred, but Cardano has like 3,000. Solana has over 2,000. Ethereum has, I believe hundreds of thousands, but not sure if everyone's validating independently. The stake seems to be relatively concentrated on Ethereum. Only the Binance chain has, only 21 validators, and I believe most of them are controlled by CZ or something. So let's make an exclusion for the Binance chain, which is, a different animal. Anyway, so with most of the other smart contract chains, there's at least hundreds, if not thousands of validators. And they all have to replay the smart contracts and validate that the state change. And state change, that actually means, state is some sort of storage, right? State means some sort of variable in the language of a programmer. And yes, it is. So each of these smart contract chains has some notion of state, which is also some notion of storage. But each of those validators, of those thousands of validators, they all need to replay the code and the smart contracts and then see if the changes to the state is really what the other validators said it should be. So for that, and they need to do that fast. So we need, many transactions per second, starting from like 80 or so, going up to thousands of transactions per second in the case of Solana. And, we need to validate that fast. So that's why all of these smart contract chains keep the state basically in RAM. In RAM, that means memory, right? That means here your laptop comes with whatever, 8 gigabytes of RAM. Servers come with 8 gigabytes, and on some chains, it's like whatever, 64, 128 gigabytes of RAM that they have, and they have their state in there. It can be, if some state is not accessed for a long time, it might get offloaded to disk on those validators and then pulled back in when it's needed again. But basically, all of these validators need to keep that state in RAM. So with that, you can think like how expensive it is to keep gigabytes or terabytes of data on the blockchain. If you want to keep it on Ethereum, even a simple transaction costs like $10 there. Yeah, you want to deposit something into DeFi, it costs $100 or $200 to do that, right? So if you would want to store like a 3 gigabyte video clip on Ethereum, it would cost you millions of dollars. And even on Solana, which is kind of the fastest, most efficient, cheapest chain, if you want to keep gigabytes there, it's going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Just for those storage fees that are out there. And, if you want to build a Web3 app that really has a storage layer, say you want to build like a Web3 version of Airbnb, right? Owned by the people, no central instance that can, censor you, kick you out, or stuff like that, right? If you want to do that, you need to store all those pictures, right? Because we want to prevent fraud, and the pictures really have to be the pictures of that place. So you need to store a lot of stuff on a blockchain if you want to have a Web3 version of Airbnb. But those smart contract chains these days, they just don't do the trick because they're all built for state changes. They're like global state machines, and smart contracts can change the state. But it's like, if you look into the code of those smart contracts, those state changes, they're like variables like local variables in some code that you write, right? It's not like file I/O or database I/O. That state is just a set of variables. So you can do that in each and any smart contract chain. But you're quite limited, right? You can do a kilobyte. Maybe you can do 20 kilobytes, right? But then after that, it starts to be unaffordably expensive. It's just as it is. And the thing is, how can you do it then? There are storage blockchains out there. You might have heard of Filecoin, of SC Prime, Sia Coin, Chia Coin, all these storage blockchains. They are all not designed with smart contracts in mind. They are designed as standalone storage solutions. So they cannot interact with smart contracts, let alone at the speed that smart contracts have. And it's a tough technical problem to solve, to make this storage chain technology that Filecoin pioneered, and Sia has done something, Chia has done something. But to take this, but build another storage chain that is designed from the ground up to interact with smart contracts, and give the smart contract programmer a storage layer. So that, when you write smart contracts, let's say we want to write that Web3 version of Airbnb, just as an example. We want to write code and store some local state and some local variables, but then we want to open a file or open a database and just write large amounts of data to it and then close it again, right? And then another day, someone pulls up your place because he's interested in renting it on Airbnb, on that, decentralized Airbnb. And then we need to find it again, right? And show it again. So building that storage blockchain with all those blockchain guarantees, right? There's no point in building a Web3 version of Airbnb, but then storing the data on AWS. It just doesn't make the whole thing decentralized. And the whole point of it would be compromised, right? So that's why Web3 is unavoidable. It's unstoppable. The world's IT infrastructure, all the Web2 applications that are out there are being rebuilt on Web3 as we speak, and you cannot stop that. But in order for the Web3 apps to be really great apps with great user experience and not crippled versions of anything, right? They need a storage layer. And it's not possible today, but we at Bitoku are working on that. So Bitoku.io is a project, and it has been initiated by myself. So I'm talking for myself here now. Bitoku.io is building this storage layer, and we're connecting to the Solana smart contract chain first, But we're open to connecting to any other smart contract chains. We just love Solana because of the speed and, you know, the transactions are cheap and all this kind of stuff, and also because of the community and everything there, right? And we love the Rust programming language, by the way, that Solana is built on. So we're building that storage layer, which will enable a whole new set of Web3 apps, a whole new set of DeFi apps, where on DeFi apps, you can actually upload your credit report. You can upload contracts to get a collateralized loan, right? Right now, or to get a non-collateralized loan, right? Right now, you know, everything has to be over collateralized and stuff like that. And, you know, it's not really, there's not really a point in getting a loan for $1,000 if you have to deposit $2,000 in BTC in order to get that loan. It's not so world changing, right? But if we can build DeFi apps where you can upload data and your data is being stored and stuff like that, it's going to be a different game. So that's why we believe Bitoku is going to change the world. You can participate in it. You can run a Bitoku validator node and get your license to do so. Just go to bitoku.io. The link is in the description. Nodes are available for sale right now, and you can make history and be part of that revolutionary storage blockchain. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and catch you later.